Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Brock. Welcome you back to another video, and today is going to be a little bit of a different video. I'm basically going to kind of do a wrap-up video of everything in the game currently, and what cards that you should really be focusing on getting. And we're going to start with Ultimate Rising. Okay? So this is the first box that came out in the game. I believe it came out like December 16th, 2016 or something like that. I don't think there's actual release dates, but we can check in the game. So I'm probably going to have the game open as well, just so I can take a look at it. So, competitively, we're going to be going over the cards as well as generally like PvE, farming, etc. So, yeah, let's take a look. I just want to check real quick what day this came out. Alright, so... Well, actually it doesn't say anymore because it says from May 16th because that's when it came back. Okay, so let's check this out. Axe Raider? No, not anymore. Blue Eyes Ultimate? Not really. Hane Hane? I would say it's decent, but only if you're running, like, Desert Twister would it be good. And even then, I think other cards have outmatched it by now. Magical Arm Shield. I haven't seen that card in a while. I kind of want to test it out in this meta just to see how good it might be. Because, like, there's so many people that can get out like 2 monsters in one turn, and if they can attack each other, like, that would be pretty decent. I don't know, a bit situational, so maybe not. Sonic Bird, definitely a good card, especially for the fact that, like, Saphira has come back, or Cyber Angels, Cafirra, Saphira. Summoner of Illusions is good for PvE, like farming decks, but honestly, like, that was really a long time ago, so not really. Fusion Gate is very good for auto-dueling, like, auto-duel dragons, I think it was called, or, like, now there's, like, Master of Oz and all this stuff. But relevant cards still in this box that you might see in the game would probably be Sphere Haribo, Sonic Bird, Shard of Greed for PvE, Order to Charge, possibly? I don't know. I haven't seen that card in a long time, especially since, like, Saphira or Cyber Angel has come back, so, like, it really makes, like, the Venus deck weak, and I don't even think the Venus deck runs Order to Charge anymore, because it's just such a slow card. So yeah, I mean, that's basically what we were going to check out in that box. So this one is called Age of Discovery, and this came back also May 17th, I believe. Yeah, May 16th. Okay. Let's see. Michizori. I would probably say no. Levia Dragon Daedalus, no. Nope. Yomi Ship, not really. Because of Cyber Angels again. And it just not being that good of a card. It has to be destroyed by battle. There are many ways to destroy cards now, so... Now, interestingly enough, like, the Sanga, or the 3 Gate Guardian pieces, would actually be a pretty interesting tech in, like, this new 3-star emotion decks that have been conjured from, like, the new relevant... or the new wording of the skill, like, the new update of the skill pretty much changes that deck entirely. So, that's cool. Then we're gonna go check out Neo Impact. And I was actually... this is when I first started in the game, when Neo Impact came out, and I was really... no, I started in January, so I didn't join before this box came out, but I did join like the first 2 weeks that this box came out, which is pretty cool, honestly. Not gonna lie. So, what do we have here, honestly? Let's check it out. Meteor Bee Dragon is pretty good in PvE, like just auto-dueling farming decks, obviously. The fusion dragons that I was referring to. Senju with 1,000 hands. I mean, Sonic Bird and Senju go kind of hand in hand, so very good cards. Especially in this Cyber Angel meta. I mean, not that it's a meta, but it's just like it's such a consistent OTK deck. Mirror Wall, still a relevant card, I would say, but I think people are starting to run Wall of Disruption again because of the fact that a lot of people have stopped using Sergeant Electro. It's kind of fallen out of this meta in a way because I think people were like, okay, I'd rather use Fire Formation Gyoku because I can inadvertently seal that card down, and they can't activate it in response. And I think that was the biggest problem that Sergeant Electro faced. So that is very good, and a lot of people just don't know if you have Fire Formation Gyoku. I mean, unless you're running dinos, people aren't going to be changing their toggle to on so that they can play around it, which I did talk about that like a little bit in my video yesterday that I posted, which if you haven't seen, definitely check out the like at the 27-minute mark, I had a Shadow Game Ananta duel that I was I've been messing around with that deck because I saw someone run it in I talked about this in the video before, but like I said that someone in the King of the no, sorry, in the Fountain to Play tournament, someone was actually running a variant of an Ananta deck, and so like I was like, dude, that's freaking awesome. I'm gonna try it. So I did, and I think I did pretty good for trying it for the first time. Stamping Destruction. Now, this card is very good, but I wouldn't say that it's meta breaking because of the fact that you just can't use, like, dragons just aren't relevant, and you would probably run Gyoku anyways or something like that. I don't know. I mean, the inflicting 500 damage to his controller is pretty cool. But I mean, if you stamp your own thing, then you get to inflict to yourself. So that could be a fallback, I guess. Kaiser Seahorse, not really relevant anymore. It was when it first came out. Double cost on, same stats, not really that good. Divine Grace North Wemco. Okay, so I want to talk about this card. So what does it say? This card is a ritual summon. Select the number of face-up cards on the field, except this card, up to the number of monsters you used for the ritual summon. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects as long as those cards remain face-up on the field that you selected. So, select a number. So I believe that this is run the best with Alexis's skill, which is, what is it? Something of Rights 2 or whatever. Let me check it out. Hold on. The reason that that's good is because she starts with this continuous spell, Master of Rights 2. Okay, yeah. So I actually still have the deck list that I had before, and she works very well with the either of the Jins really, but I think I was using the Prognosticator because he's the 3-star. And you can fuse, obviously, you can fuse Sonic Bird with the Prognosticator to give you 7 stars in turn. And I actually got 3 of her, which was really cool. But it's just not, like, a consistent deck, honestly. Like, it's not relevant at all. So, I wouldn't say that that's a good card. Garlandolf, King of Destruction. So, let's see. Destroy all other face-up monsters on the field with defense less than or equal to this card's attack. Okay. So obviously this can't touch Cyber Angel Akini. It can destroy... I guess it technically could destroy Saphira, but she's probably going to protect herself, or she's already going to be at 3,500 attack, so... I don't know, it's like a it's like a worse Gandora. Like, you should just be running Gandora at that point. Which is still kind of a cool deck to do, honestly. And this is like the Jin cards that I was talking about. Prognosticator. Yeah, if you attack, like if you inflict battle damage, they discard one card, so that's pretty cool, honestly. So now we're actually gonna get to the relevant boxes. The first two boxes were just like kind of thrown together. I like how recently their boxes have been very cool, like very consistent in the terms that like they have a set archetype, a set theme, etc., and it just makes sense that these cards go together. And I'm really curious as to see like what Abyss Encounters is gonna give us, but we're not really sure yet, honestly. We don't have the box list. They haven't announced anything yet. I'm hoping for an announcement at 12 a.m., but we won't be for certain yet. Okay, so let's take a look at this box. So this is a very, very good card. You can use this. I mean, this is better than Blue Dragon Summoner. Blue Dragon Summoner is probably like the free-to-play version of this, pretty much, because you can buy it at the card trader, so therefore it's more accessible to everyone. I like to word it like that because I think it's more important to realize, like, okay, if this card is more accessible to me, maybe I should aim for that instead of this. But I don't know, it doesn't really matter. As long as if you can afford it, then I would definitely go for this, because this works in Arcana's Dark Magician deck, which is really cool. Master of Magicians is a cool skill, honestly. The fact that you can just add one of the Dark Magician cards, I think it's either Thousand Knives, Dark Magic Attack, or the, what is it called? Magic Expanded, or something like that. Really cool card. But yeah, and the nice thing about this card is you can tribute summon one spellcaster type monster in face-up attack position in addition to your normal summon or set. And you can only gain this effect once per turn. So, and you can only activate, obviously you can only use this effect of Legion once per turn as well. So, ideally you would just tribute this off, possibly, for a Dark Magician girl, and you can then search a Dark Magician out of either your graveyard or your deck, and then you can use Sage's Stone. Yeah, Sage's Stone. So pretty cool combo. They definitely synergize pretty well together. Really cool deck. Definitely an interesting archetype for sure. It's still relevant in the meta, honestly. Like, Dark Magician is definitely a powerful deck since Arcana was released as a character that everyone can unlock. They released a lot of support cards for him, so I think that was super cool of them to do. And I don't know, it just seems like a fun deck. I ran it a little bit like 2 seasons ago, I think, maybe 1 season ago. Whenever Arcana first came out was when I tried it out, and it was definitely a fun deck, I gotta admit. Okay, so I'm gonna skip over the irrelevant cards because they just kind of are a waste of time, I guess, to talk about. So if I don't talk about a card, it's probably because it's kind of irrelevant. So let's go to Warm Worm now. So if this card is destroyed, so it doesn't have to be destroyed by battle, send the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck to the graveyard. So, that's pretty crazy, honestly. Very good in mill decks, obviously. If you can bring it back to the field, it's even more powerful. You can use, like, I think people use, like, Powerful Rebirth, or I think there was a trap card in here as well. Or maybe it's in a later box. It might have been in... No, I think it's actually in Neo Impact, isn't it? Oh, I'm trying to think of the name. It's a trap card too, and it's an SR, Regretful Rebirth. So a lot of people would use this. If it was destroyed by battle, target that monster, special summon it again, and then it gets destroyed during your end phase, so that's 6 cards right there. That's pretty crazy. That's like almost half of your opponent's deck in like one turn. But like obviously that's not going to be as consistent because of Cyber Angels, and they're just going to send this to the grave, and then you can't pop the effect at all because it's not destroyed. And then this card. This card, I think people, when this box first came out, it was severely underrated how good this card was. I don't think people understood that targeting your opponent's face-down cards, when there's Econ, Mirror Wall, Windstorm, especially back in the old meta where it was like vanilla dinos and Daedalus and all this crap, basically. Even Relinquished, I guess, could considered it was a meta deck at one point. Even Gravekeepers were a meta deck. Tunes, whatever. I mean, this card was just so powerful that it was able to target a face down, and they would be forced to activate it. And the nice thing was, like, you could protect this card with things like Windstorm yourself, Mirror Wall mostly. Mostly people would protect this with Mirror Wall back in the day. And it's just such a good card, honestly. Like, it really is a good card. But I think the reason for it falling out of the meta is because I think people finally realized, like, once people saw the MCS and other tournaments that people have created and run, like competitive tournaments, people have realized that Fire Formation Gyoku is just that much better. It's like, when I think of the card, I compare it to Anti-Magic Arrows in a way that it's unnegatable. It's not unnegatable. It's not unnegatable because, so I guess it's not like as good. It's not as good or trustworthy, I guess, as Anti-Magic Arrows, but most likely your opponent's not going to have like a Dark Paladin or Horus or anything that can negate that Gyoku. So you're probably going to be, like, the likelihood of you actually sealing that, like, face down is pretty high, honestly. Like, you gotta admit, though. Like, I don't know, I feel like that card is definitely a good card. And then, we get to Valkyrie's Rage. One of my favorite boxes, honestly. And I kind of miss it. I miss when, like, the days that you could run things like Nobleman of Extermination. Like, people still run it, but it used to be, like, one of my favorite cards, personally. I finally got 3 of him, and then he was just not as relevant in the meta. If we ever got Nobleman of Crossout, that would be insane. That combos with Floodgate Trap Hole so well. But there are still some relevant cards in this box, honestly. And I'm here to talk about them with you. So, we got the Fiend Mega Cyber, very good in Elements Unite farming decks. Very good for just PvE farming. I don't think I've ever seen it in PvP anymore because the chance that you're actually going to be able to special summon this with your opponent having 2 or more monsters than you do is very unlikely. But, oh well. Dunamis Dark Witch has definitely fallen out because it's still, like, technically the most powerful fairy, so if you're running a fairy deck, you definitely probably see this in the deck. I actually did create a fairy deck, and I showed a little, like, replay that I had when that was, what, back in, like, Christmas time, honestly. Or maybe no, I don't know. I don't think that was Christmas time. That was just, yeah, never mind. It was close, though. But Ashizu, I was using Fairy Smile, which did, like, it recently got buffed, kind of. Not recently, but it relatively got buffed. I think it used to be like you gain 500 life points for every fairy you draw, but now it's 1,000, so that's pretty crazy. Um, and we are actually able to get 3 cards from the sky, so that's also insane. And that card, like, just really combos well with Spiritual Light Art Hygiri, which can be easily negated again, but the likelihood of your opponent actually having a trap in their hand and not having it set is very unlikely, honestly. Um, and then Dimensional Alchemist, I just really want this card to be relevant. I think that it's a great card, honestly. And it was in this box as well. Like, the fact that you can just banish the top card of your deck, and then if it gets destroyed, you can select one of your removed from play monsters and return it to the hand. I don't know, that's just like a really powerful effect, honestly. Sky Scourge Endrise, not as good, honestly. Ashura Priest can be very good, especially against like decks that run Wall of Disruption, because it just goes back to the hand, and if they're able to destroy all your monsters, then that's like you kind of lost out versus them. But I would say Soul Exchange, very relevant. Yeah, definitely a relevant card. Any of the AZ Flame players that are using Aroma Strategy are going to be running probably 3x of Soul Exchange, and if not, they're going to have like Hazy Glory or something like that, which is a normal trap card. Now let's sit and talk about this card, Xing Zheng Hu. I've seen this card in the meta a lot. The fact that, like, if you set 2 spell or traps and they're able to target those face downs and lock them down, if they're able to lock your like 2 of your spell or trap zones, that's 66.6 repeating percent of your back row. And then you only have 1 back row to work with, and that's really just bad. Especially if you're not running things like Storm, etc. So, like, that's my honest opinions of that. And I feel like it makes sense, honestly. Like, Xing Zhen Hu is a very good card. You'll see it in Rex Dinos, like anything that really needs to force your back row down. And the one annoying deck that I gotta say that's recently been really popular in the meta is Gladiator Beasts. I think that like that is probably like, in my opinion, like all my matchups in the KC Cup, like that's the hardest deck for me to counter personally. Like honestly, like you have Econ and things like that to counter Cyber Angels, but like it's just really difficult to counter the Gladiator Beasts. I mean, it's just crazy, man, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's just insane. So we're probably gonna split this up into like 3 different parts. One for the first 6 boxes, then we'll go to like Land of the Titans, Dawn of Destiny, Echoes of Silence, then Servant of the King. Yeah, that makes sense. And then yeah, that'll be good. That'll work out pretty well. Honestly, it will. Cool. So this will be the last box in this video. We're gonna go over 6 boxes each video, pretty much, and just talk about the meta. Honestly, I don't see any cards in here that are relevant, which is kind of crazy. Like this box was almost like, in a way, more skippable than Land of the Titans, because like at least Land of the Titans gives you cards like let's see, it gives you cards like Security Orb, gives you cards like Talia, which is pretty versatile. Like, it's pretty needed. It's necessary for the plant deck, and especially if you're running like the Rose Lover variant and not the Arrow Mages. I don't think the Arrow Mages run this, but it's just a very good card. Dust Knight is pretty good, I gotta say. Uniflora, not very good. I really want to see Beasts be meta, and they're not going to be meta until Big Tusk Mammoth comes. I mean, that's just, like, in and of itself, completely obvious information. Like, I shouldn't even have to tell you that, but I guess not everyone knows everything. Anyways, yeah, guys. I mean, I guess technically Birdface is good for, like, if you want to run a Harpies deck. Like, if you really want to run a Harpies deck, it's a good searcher, and it's an 1800 beat stick, but like in general, you're not going to see that on the ladder, so it's not really necessary, and you should definitely save and focus your gems on other boxes. So with that, I hope this helped you out in deciding like what to spend your gems on in terms of the first 6 boxes that came out. The first 3 main boxes, and then the first 3 mini boxes. And if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely leave a like, leave a thumbs up down below, and let me know, like, if you think I, like, missed out on any cards or anything like that. And, I don't know, just, I want to get some discussion going, like, some serious discussion going down in the comments section down below. And with that, I'm going to get the hashtag out of here. Peace.